Hashtag T2P. Come and take a sip of the thought with me. Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning, and peace and blessings to you. It's a Friday. It's a fire Friday. Yes.
Good morning. Good
I'm
morning.
shielded and everything this morning. Ain't no corona gonna get me.
The full armor of God.
Okay, the full armor of God. Ooh, look. Good morning, brother. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody, y'all. I don't know if y'all done been outside in the Houston, Texas today. Ooh. But we needed this little cold snap. I went outside to take the trash out this morning and I was like, yes, come on, Arctic wind. Minus a couple of Arctic winds, but yeah, still in yet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is our Fire Fridays. Of course, I am in the building and Ian is in the building and we are here. Y'all let us know that y'all are in the building. Give us some thumbs up, some hearts, and all of that other good stuff. Come check us out. Like, share, do all of that good stuff. Make sure that we are getting it done, have it done, all that good stuff. Oh, well. Good morning. Yes. Long time no see. I need to contact you. We need to talk. You, right?
Good morning. Dirty.
Good old Mortons and stuff. So y'all like, share, do all of that. This morning we decided that we were going to do a little something, and we were going to talk about the village. We want to talk about the village. What does the village mean? What is all of that good stuff? Brother, what you got to say about the village? Just a little quick something before we get into it.
Yeah, I think it's just important as we move forward to begin to think about like what does community look like, and how do we value each other, right? In whatever capacity and whatever intersections we sit in, how do we value each other? I said last week that I don't want to be an icon when I die, right? How are we uplifting, building, empowering, cultivating, creating, curating spaces in which we are in community together?
Right. That part right there, y'all. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna do all of this good stuff. Today is our Fire Friday, and you know how we do. So we ask that you come on and you comment. Good morning, Tana. You comment. You let us know how you're feeling and what's going on, and think about the village. Think about the village. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get it started on this nice, cool morning that we're having here. And look, y'all, I'm going to embellish just a little bit because we haven't had a cool morning since last year.
Yeah.
It's been like a cool morning since last year. It's been that long. It's been that long. We've had a hot summer. COVID hasn't let up on us, all this other good stuff. So what I want you to do this morning is come along with me and just take a moment and acknowledge that your breath is important. While I'm out here taking the trash out this morning, but dancing a little jig because it's cool outside, I wanted to just take a moment and acknowledge that our breath is important. It is so important for us to acknowledge that we are living and we are thriving and that we are here. So what I normally do is take 3 breaths in the morning. The first breath, I will count it out. We'll take the second. I won't count. The third, I won't count. But on the third breath, I ask that you make some noise when you release whatever it is that you're taking the breath for. Yesterday is gone. Today is a new day. And we have a new day to do it right, to do it over, to change something, to make something happen. All right. Enough of that. Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me take a sip. Yes, brother. Okay, that's that. Look at that. Oh, that opened it up. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. On a count of 3, We're going to take a deep breath. We take the deep breath. I'm going to count it out. I'll do the hand movements. And then that way you'll know. And again, ladies and gentlemen, N and I are not responsible for you if you're choking yourself, right? Get to the number that you can get to. You don't have to get to 5 because as N so professionally stated early on in our 5 Friday career, that's not a 5 count, that's a 20 count.
Oh, yes.
So with that being said, do what you can, okay, on that. All right. On the count of 3, we're going to take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what we want this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it in. Think about whatever that thing is. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Think about whatever that thing is. Take it in and acknowledge that your breath is important, that your life is important, and then blow it out. On the count of 3, we're going to go with the second breath. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. And out. All right, y'all, shake them shoulders up a little bit. Relax that neck. You see how Ian over there getting it? Relax the neck. And then on this last one, what I want you to do is I want you to think about whatever it is, and I want you to make the universe know that you're in control by making some noise. Tell them you're in control. If you can't verbally say it, then just make some noise. Whatever that's going to be, make that noise. All right, on the count of 3, we're going to take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. And okay. Okay, look. That part right there. Look. Don't play with the play. Don't play with the play. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Let's make sure I got my peeps in here. Got a couple. All right. All right, brother. So let's talk about the village. So so what does village mean? Indeed. Come on, you better come through, Danita. You better come through. So with Danita saying that, what does the village actually mean to us?
Yeah, I think, as we have experienced life over the last year, really it's been about a year. Both of us have not only accomplished a lot. I can't wait for Titan to tell you all that he's accomplishing quietly. Y'all know he's a lot less gaudy than I am. But we've accomplished a lot. But in being in those different spaces and places, I think that one of the commonalities that's happened is whether this is us feeling this way or us seeing other people feel this way, and or community members creating this kind of contention. However it looks, we've all felt a sense of longing and loneliness around events, right? And there's been, not specific to us, but just in general, a lot of the work that we're doing right now is about figuring out where did we lose this sense of cultivating a village of people, a group of people that held. This reminds me so much of one of the first conversations we had on 5 Fridays, but of not only being there in support, but holding you accountable and loving you through the hard times. And whether the hard times were financial difficulties or homelessness, or whether the hard times was, no, bitch, you just trash. You know what I mean? Like whatever that was, right? And I
You're right.
think that
You're
I
right.
think that we, I haven't formulated a way to get back there, but I know a part of that is around healing. A part of
Right.
that is around feeling, figuring out what healing looks like for us. And I think that that's a lot of what we're missing because people are falling through the cracks, not
Mhm.
because they don't have the potential or capability of being strong enough to tackle the circumstances that life deals us, but really it's about not having the support.
Right. I think sometimes like we like you said it, like we are there's an old adage that your village is to surround you and lift you up and make sure that you're okay. We talk about the village, especially in the realm of me being a black gay man who's HIV positive. A lot of times we don't get that. And then me and you have talked about how sometimes we just have to stand in the cut with the person or with the thing or with the situation just so that we can show support, so we can be that village. And a lot of times people at you instead of talking with you, instead of understanding. Danita made a good point right here when she says we need to get back to the village mentality. Yes, back in the day, when I was growing up, and I'm sure it was the same thing, partly when you were growing up as well, brother. But the village was my neighborhood, right? My grandmother knew everybody. She knew all of her neighbors and stuff like that. And they watched out. Sometimes they watched out just a little bit too much because they just told her everything that was going on. However, I can appreciate the village now,
Yeah.
right? Knowing what the village actually means. Because that same village would protect us when we got home. If something happened and my grandmother or my mother or whoever was looking over us after us at the time was not there, that village fed us. That village made sure that we were good. They made sure that we came in out of the rain. You know what I'm saying? And so today, with everything that's going on, also with the passing of Monica Roberts last week, I think we all have, and I hate to say we need to do this now, right? Like it should have already been something that we were actually doing. So what we like to do, and this is us and the Normal Anomaly and any organization that has partnered with us or been around us, we like to uplift one another and make sure. And in short, we're the village. We make sure we pull people in, we talk to people. Me and Ian was having a conversation last night, and I was just saying to Ian, I said, well, Ian, I don't know if I can just stand by and just watch something like that happen. You know, like I can't. I'm gonna do my part. I'm hoping that is met with open arms, but I'm not even worried about that. Because if I see somebody drowning, somebody down in the ditch, I'm gonna reach down and help them get up out if I can, right? Now, what they do with it afterwards, I have no control over that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking about that. We're talking about being a village and showing up, just showing up and being there for someone. Um, I think it's important for us to not be selfish with that. What did you say last night, brother? What did you say last night? What was the question?
My question was, do we think that it is the selfishness of, I forget the term I used. Is it the capacity for love or the selfishness of love? That's,
Right.
yeah.
And
And
go
I
ahead.
no, because I think that, many times in relationship, whatever relationship, we like to love people how we want to be loved.
Yeah.
Again, we want people to love us how we want to be loved. And that is very selfish, right? Because the reality is one requires us to do what comes natural to us, but then we want to expect community, date people we date. We want to expect people that we're in familial or friendships with to love us how we want to be loved. My love language is words of affirmation. So you need to give me words of affirmation while I give you words of affirmation and not care about what your love language is, right? And so in community, in terms of building this village, it's like this, contentious place, this space that's being pulled apart because the only time we know how to love people many times is out of trauma and tragedy, right? We don't, and we see all of the, many times we see uh, uh, all of the, we have a premonition of what is to come based upon what we see. But because we don't want to build our own capacity as the village, going back to your thoughts about your neighborhood, I had a neighbor across the street. Her name is Miss Billy Bell. I love me some Miss Billy Bell. Nobody else did, by the way. Nobody liked Miss Billy Bell. Okay. And the reason why they didn't like Miss Billy would be in the blinds in her house robe, after the shower, in her church clothes. Baby, she was always peeking through the blinds trying to see. So she knew who was crackheads. She knew who was dope dealers. She knew who was sucking dick on the side of the church parking lot. Miss Billy knew all of the tea. And what was so interesting is I didn't realize until I was about 15 or 16, what she would do with it was she would report it to the elders, to the mothers, grandmothers. And she would use that to say, hey, before something happens, right? I see this going on. So before something happens to your child, before your child ends up getting shot, before your child ends up going to jail, I want to let you know, you may not like it, but your child is a crackhead. Your child is a dope dealer. Your child is a prostitute, right? And though that is particularly, it comes a little crass and a little sharp. Now I can appreciate that because when I go down to visit my family, though I'm not an elder in age, I'm considered an elder in status because I don't live down there. And I can go over to Miss Billy's house and I can sit on the couch and Miss Billy is going to tell me all the things going on with my family that my family won't tell me. So I can have a space to work from. And we don't have a lot of Miss Billies.
We do not. Yes. So it's funny because so Tana said, and I want to piggyback off of what you said once I read these comments. But in order to build in a village, we must bring them along with us and educate our community and make them feel comfortable. And I agree with you, Tana, but I think sometimes what we have is we have this quote unquote village by speaking, but no village by action. And me and Tana spoke on this previously, is that sometimes what happens is we literally watch them, right? And just walk right over, them when they fall, when they go down and things like that. And so what you said was the truth. Miss, well, what's her name again?
Billy.
Miss Billy. So Miss Billy reminds me of In Living Color, when she say, nobody better not say nothing bad about Miss G. We're gonna say Miss Billy. Ain't nobody better not say nothing bad about Miss Billy. But everybody want to say, if you don't get out of here with your nosy da 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 da. But the reality of it is that Miss Billy probably saved most of the community, the village, because she was making sure. And look, ladies and gentlemen, you can say what you want to say about somebody being nosy, being in your business, but 9 times out of 10, the person that actually saves you was the one being nosy. Because if I wasn't being nosy, I wouldn't care whether you failed, whether you stood up, or anything.
One of my closest friends, and I'll talk specifically about him because he also in Outcry talks about this. So Martise was dealing with one of my gay grandpas. Martise was dealing with crystal methamphetamine addiction, and I remember being around him and seeing like his kind of erratic behavior, and everybody was talking about it. Everyone was talking about it, not to him. Everybody having these conversations about, like, is he stealing? Is he doing this? Is he always high? And blah, 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 blah. And he said that he was so hurt because everybody saw him hurting, and no one had the balls to say, is this what it is? Not to try to fix it, not to try to, to demean him or demean his position, but just to say, I acknowledge that I see this and I'm going to acknowledge it with you. Right. And I don't know if you're going to be cool or come out of a bag, okay? But the reality is I just see it. And many times I have wanted, listen, I realize I am flawed and a lot. I was just telling you this last night. I am a lot. And the older I get, I'm about to be 33 in 2 weeks. And I realize I am a lot, baby. I am a lot. But many times, as you know, all it takes is for somebody to say, now, brother, that don't make sense. Now, brother, are you sure about that? Now, brother, are you really internalizing that? And that's all it takes for me to, and I may still give pushback.
Yeah.
Go back and I'm going to sit and I'm going to say, you know what? It meant something to me because the people that fuck with me, the people that love me, pulled me to the side.
No flat tires. Yeah. Yes. That part. This is what I tell people all the time. Look, if I consider you a friend, if I consider you family, if I consider you part of my village or my circle, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to be just real with you. This is what it is. I had a friend of mine, I won't mention her name because she don't want me to throw her under the bus, but she came to me and she said, Titan, will you be honest with me? And I said, sure. And she says, okay, so I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Should I be doing this? And I said, girl, you know you're wrong. She's like, well, that's not the answer I was looking for. I said, well, that's not the answer that you're going to get from me because I'm your circle. I'm supposed to protect you and uplift you. And if I see you going down a dark road, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to bring the light so you can see everything that's going on. So I think sometimes what happens is that, like you said, in that case, everybody was talking about it, but not to him. You know what I mean? And that's not a village. And that's what Tanner was saying. She was like, you know what? We got to bring them along, right? We have to literally educate our community. And sometimes educating our community is telling people to stop being trifling, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Stop acting the ass, stop being a fool, stop doing that because that's not good for you. And sometimes what happens is the person may not talk to me like Ian said. They may, they'll come out of a bag. You know what I'm saying? Long as they act right when they come out that bag, we won't have no problem. I may be the village, I may be the circle, but I got hands. Don't play with me. But seriously,
that's on period.
Okay, period. But sometimes we have to really, really understand what it is, And then, as Danita said, I would never stand by and watch the tearing down of my people. Right. The crazy part is, in this world today, with the election, with COVID, and everything going on, you see just how much of a village you have. How many people have rallied around you to protect you, to get you to understand what racism is? Right. A lot of people thought racism was dead and gone. No, for those of us who live it every day, we don't know. So we have to educate. We have to be sure. But I do say this. I'm quick to tell you if something don't feel right. Yeah. I don't care how much you say is good, how much you say is great. I will come. No, brother. I can't get with that. I cannot get with that because the reality. My grandmother used to say this all the time, and this is not something that you can take to heart, I guess, for those that are watching and listening. But she used to always tell me back in the day, "You're gonna understand." Now, remember, she was born in the 30s. It's my grandmother. She was born in the 30s. She said, "You're gonna understand when that white man put his foot in your back." And I was like, "Hey, ain't no white man gonna put no foot in no back. They gonna catch these hands. I fight the people." But the reality of it was, I wasn't thinking systematically. I wasn't thinking, you know what I mean, that I'm going into an arena that's predominantly Caucasian and I don't have a leg to stand on because I am less of a human than my white counterparts, right? I did not understand that. But she was telling me back then, like, you're gonna have to learn how to move and shake and do. But one thing I took away from that, which it may sound bad, but I took away that I have to do my part. I got to be part of the village. I can't let some system just continuously take me down. There has to be a loophole. There has to be a way. There has to be something, right, that I can actually do. And then Danita said she thinks it's sheer ignorance of it because people want to love you, but don't give half that portion. Baby, look, baby, look. If you can sit around, like Ian was saying, and talk about this person going down, whoever it may be, because I've had people in my life do the same thing. They talk about you, they say all this stuff, whisper and all that. And then my question is, well, were you going to tell me?
Yeah.
So, like Ian said, maybe I could have sat with it for a moment. And maybe I could have seen like what was going on. I think that's the part. Correct, Tana. And that's what's carrying it. Yes. Come on. We must call each other out, right? The thing is, most people think if you call them out, that you're trying to let them have it. You're trying to come for them. You're trying to, tell somebody their business. That's not it. That's not it. If I took all that power and went over into the corner with you, Ian, and said, "Okay, brother, blah 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 blah," it's nobody's business what we talked about. But once you go and blast it on social media, y'all, I'm talking in the general sense, not me and my brother, in a general sense. Once you go and blast on social media, then whatever happens after that happens.
Yeah.
But I came to you privately and said, "Hey, I think you need to like."
I think another thing is, as we're talking about the village, we've talked a lot about the person who needs the village, but we also haven't talked about what that person needs to do, right? So, as a person who needs a village, right, we need to work on our trauma responses. We need to work on our trauma responses. Everything that said to you isn't said with the intent to hurt you. And if it's said with an intent to hurt you, what kind of hurt are you experiencing? Because the second thing that I think we need to lift up is that there is no negative criticism. There is no such thing as negative criticism. There is criticism and the way you internalize it, right? There is no negative criticism. So we are so caught up on, and this is a shady world. The girls know how to read. So, I mean, that's a part of our culture, and it's true. But if it's only a read if it's true, and it's only a read if you don't want to do anything about it.
Wait. What does your favorite therapist always say?
Shoot, Spirit. What Spirit be saying?
What Spirit? Oh. Spirit said basically, I can't push your buttons if there was never a button.
Yeah, I can't. You're only triggered because the button is there.
Come on. So you wouldn't be triggered if there was no button. Period. Look, lady, you said a mouthful right there. Sometimes we have to really understand if I'm coming to you and I'm coming to you to say, "Hey, I'm here to protect you." Just like I just said, I pulled you over to a car privately. Yeah. This could have been something that we discussed last night. But if you choose to take it to the public, then you get what you get because I'm trying to help you. So there was an instance where a friend of mine was going through some really bad times, and they needed help with money and this and all of that good stuff like that. And I said, okay, I was going to help you. So they started talking to another friend of ours, and the other friend mentioned something similar or to what we had talked about, right? So they thought for sure that I had told their business and all of this. So they charged me up and they went on and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm here to help you, like not break you down. Why would I tell somebody that? Plus I see how you are. But in this world today, it's that shock value. It's that thing that everybody wants to tell you. Like I watch social media sometimes, and I'm thinking, y'all are not a village. Y'all not helping that woman. Y'all not helping that man. Y'all helping them by putting them on Front Street. Y'all helping them by degrading them because they don't have this or they don't have that. Most of us can understand what it is to know how to live from paycheck to paycheck. Most of us can understand what it's like to not have a meal on the table 3 times out of the day, right? Most of us can understand what it feels like to sleep on the floor, not have a bed, not have a mattress. Like, I remember back in the day, I used to love a pallet. Shoot, you give me some sheets and a blanket and a couple of pillows, and I'd get on that floor in a minute. Now I'd be like, okay, y'all, I need to have me a bed. I got to be up off the floor because I'm a little older now, you know. But that village normally is there to help you to make sure that you are good. But according to what Ian just stated, sometimes y'all have to come up out of that trauma and these responses and notice and understand what the village is doing for you. I can't get anywhere. I just told Ian last night, I said, Ian, I got to tell you that I appreciate what you have done for me because you have been there to lift me up and to take me into spaces and places. He probably going to kill me later for saying this, but taking me to places and spaces to where I needed to grow, right? Because I wasn't getting there on my own. And so what happened was we stood on the side of each other and was like, okay, hey, he was like, okay, you need this, brother. You need this, you need this. And then and if he needed something, I was on the side saying, okay, well, brother, now we might need to do this, we might need to go this route and do that. But again, it's the village. Just like Kimmy and Michael and Nathan and anybody else that has been around, Mia, any of the ladies that helped us out with the Trans Ally Collective, Jayla and Joelle and all of these people, right? This is a village. This is a village, and they know Vernis and so many others that have helped us. And then not to even mention Monica Roberts. She's part of that village, and that's what we want you to understand is that we got to bring the village back. We cannot let the village go. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there suffering, and this is where the village is going to reach out. If you're out there suffering, if you're out there if you just need somebody to talk to, right? We are a village. And I know you don't talk to certain people because you don't like certain people. I get it. But there is a village out there. And we cannot go into this village or expect help from this village. And we don't want to listen or we don't want to see what we are really doing. You know what I mean? Because if you listen to Outcry on the doc, you know what? Little short plug. Outcry the documentary on Amazon Prime. Go on and check it out. Look at it. Outcry the series. Go check it out. Here's what we're saying in that. I thought I didn't have a village before I started on this HIV journey, right? What I realized is that over the years, I had a village. They were quiet, but I had a village. They made sure that I was good. They made sure that I was healthy. They made sure that I went through. And then even those that I really didn't like because I figured they could have told me about HIV prior to, right? But a lot of those people were there to walk me through the steps, medication, doctor's appointments, things like that, support groups, all of this kind of stuff like that. So sometimes the village may not just be Front Street. Sometimes the village is there. Come in and whisper a little something to you and tell you, hey, you're good, you're going to be great, and all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, do that. We are here. We are here. We're for you, about you, and all of that good stuff. I want to say something to this, and brother, you can chime in if it's good. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got to protect our elders, right? We have got to protect our youth. We got to protect ourselves. Check in with yourself, check in with your people. Sometimes people are suffering in silence, just sitting there suffering because they don't want to put their burdens on people. Or maybe they've had a traumatic experience about speaking on their issues or problems. But what I want you to know is that we got to be able to understand, like Tana said earlier, we got to teach, we got to bring them in with us. Just because you're older, just because you're elder, that doesn't mean that you know everything, especially nowadays, right? Voting. I didn't talk to so many people about voting, elders, especially elders, because some of them can't leave the house, some of them don't do. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a village. We can't throw away our elders, and we can't think our youth is just too reckless and they just doing everything to not even care about what's going on with them. I guarantee you, they're just starting their life. You started yours at one point, like me, and they need your help, brother. What do you think about us reaching out to the elders and the youth in order to help and build them up?
You know, I was watching the conversation with Vice President, hopeful new president Joe Biden last night. And it was a lot of discussion on how this race is not about the Black woman voter or the Black male voter or the white woman voter. It's really about people under the age of 30. Not because they are voting Republican, but because they're not voting.
Yeah, period.
And not because they're not voting because they don't know to vote, but because they're not impressed with the candidates and they don't see the point in voting. And I can remember when I was, 30. I can remember when I was 20 more specifically. I wasn't voting when I was 20. I may have been comfortable talking about voting at 20 because of the circles I was around, but I wasn't voting because politics did not affect me. I did not see the taxes being taken out. I was still getting an income tax refund, a student, a financial aid refund. I was still able to stay with people or stay on campus. I didn't have a car.
Come on.
I didn't have any of those things. And so what I wanted to hear is, why am I going to have to pay $8,000 on this $5,000 loan? That's what I wanted to hear. They wasn't talking about that.
Right.
What I wanted to hear was, how can I assure that if I get a 4-year degree after I get out of college, that I won't be making the same amount of money as my friend who sews for a living, right?
How about that?
And so I think that, and then also on the other side, my aunt, who I talk about quite often, my aunt is really, really educated, really, really astute, very financially stable. But she swore, not that she was ever a Trump fan,
Right.
she swore that racism was dead and that politics was about who is going to make me the most money as my husband gets to retire. And it really was this year, right? It really was her watching CNN and seeing this year not only the racial injustice, but I think that it's the reality that she ain't worried about HIV. She ain't worried about cancer because she go to the doctor every 3 months for whatever reason, just to get everything looked at every other day. So she ain't worried about anything that we know. She ain't worried about flu. She ain't worried about pneumonia. She ain't worried about diabetes. But God dog it, she is worried about COVID.
Right.
She is paying attention to what's going on with COVID.
Okay.
And I think that we gotta engage our elders and we gotta engage our youth because not only are they the key to like stuff like this election, which is so important. Please go vote, anybody watching.
Yes, indeed.
But also it's about really, if we're a village, we got to see what matters to them. My aunt, going back to her, my aunt is telling her nephews who are, I don't know, between 8 and 11, that they got to do their homework if they want to get a car, because that's how you build your work ethic. And I said, they don't care about no car. But it just goes to say, like, we don't know what people really need,
Right.
unless we engage with them.
Right. That's wild. That's wild. Sometimes we don't necessarily know, like you said, we don't know with that. But ladies and gentlemen, what can we say about the village? So I was talking with my cousins, right? And we always have these deep conversations, and I always tell them all the time that I am always trying to look out for the next person, right? And something Ian said earlier is that sometimes we have to really look out for ourselves, meaning that we have to understand what the village is in order to be a part of the village. And so I was telling my cousins, I said, you know, as we go around, I watch my cousins, baby, that family, they come together. It's my dad's side of the family. They come together and they push one another, and they make sure they got businesses galore and all this other good stuff like that. And so I was like, wow, like that's good. My family it was our elders, right? It was our elders. My grandmother is one out of 13 siblings. And so those women, and normally, not to say the men don't, right? But normally it's the women that would come together as our elders, as the matriarchs of their families or their branches of the tree. And they would always come together, and it was always them. They prayed for you. They rallied around you. They made sure that you were good. They always made sure that you were fed, that you had clothes. They made sure. They would bring the discipline, but they made sure that you were good. Like I remember my grandmother teaching me the value of $1, how to actually, save without teaching me how to save. My grandmother kept her stuff in a can and under the mattress and stuff like that. However, I learned from that. My mom's being older taught me the ways of the street. You know what I mean? Like, hey, watch out for this. Don't do that. Don't be over here this time of night. If you go over here, this is what's happening. Like you were saying with Miss Betty.
Miss Billy.
Miss Billy. I don't know why you want to call her Miss Billy, but Miss Betty. But Miss Billy.
That's what you want tonight.
That's what I want.
Miss Betty's.
Okay, anyways. So she was needed in the community. And that's what I'm saying. She may have been the nosy one. She may have been the one that told everything. She may have been the one to have a tablet and wrote down everything. 5:02 p.m. Da happened. But she was needed. And so we can't just throw her away. We can't say, you know what, forget Miss Billy. But Miss Billy was probably someone that had children, grandchildren. She had a house. She kept everything. She made sure everybody was good. And if anything would have happened to Ian, like Ian said, everybody else hated Miss Billy except for him. She knew something was there. Sometimes we have to understand, we see it, and we got to protect those children. Now, not to say that Ian was out there wilding and doing whatever have you, because I don't know, but Miss Billy saw something, right? Because she might have been mean to all the other ones, but she was like, come on, baby, come sit on the porch, come do this here, don't go over there, stay away from that. And I had a Miss Billy in our neighborhood. Heck, right now, Ian have heard me on the phone talking to my neighbor right here, and my neighbor, she's always looking out. I was moving some boxes one day, just some stuff that I had got shipped over, taking some boxes out, and she ran out and she was like, you moving? And I was like, no, I'm not moving, ma'am. I'm just taking some boxes. Oh, okay. Whew. I was just wondering because, you a good neighbor, you always take care. And then I always check on her. Something happens, flooding, storms, things like that. I hear ambulance or fire truck or something. I'm always checking on her. And that's what I mean by that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got to bring the village back. I don't know that the village went anywhere. Let me say that. I don't know that it went anywhere, but I think we have to be a little bit more vocal and a little bit more on Front Street about the village so that people know that they're not out there by themselves. They're not doing that. And I know you don't want to be in nobody's business, but I think sometimes you need to step over and just tap them on the shoulder. Just tap, just, hey, 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 hey. You know what I mean? Like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, I think it's funny. I'm walking over, tapping the grown person on the shoulder. Hey. Like Monique did in Precious. Stop it. So this is what I want to end with, and then I'll let Ian go ahead and give his final thoughts. But I want to task you to do. I want you to find somebody in your circle, in your community that you know that needs help, that you have seen it, you have felt it, your spirit has moved you. I want you to go to that, if you can. Okay, look, okay. You know what? I'm not even going to say if. I want you to go to that person, whoever that person may be, and I want you to lend some help to that person. Ear, maybe a little financial blessing, maybe something that can truly help them. If you see them going through something, I don't want you to stay away. So this is my homework for you, I guess, my assignment or whatever you may want to call it. And then also bring that back. Hold us to task, right? Hold us to keep going on and making sure that people know that we're out there, that we are in this village and we're in this community of love and to help and to uplift. So today, going forward, right? We're going to come back next Fire Friday, and we're going to ask you about that. And I ask that you come in. If you want to just send us a message, me or Ian a message, you can send it under the Thought to Ponder, the Normal Anomaly, Titan Capri, Ian Haddock. But I think that would be a great thing for us to do. So I'm tasking you to be that village, to actually push that village and that circle, and understand that you are just more than just somebody being a friend. You're there, you're a loved one, you're there to help them and to move forward. Danita said the village is still here. They were told, don't put your hands on my kids, mind your business. Look, you don't mess with the peoples. You don't do that. You don't do that. Kevin says, I'm so appreciative for this discussion this morning. I love when I am thanked for the investment I made in someone's life, and then I look them straight in the eyes and say, we have invested into each other. Our investment in the village is vital. Oh, Kevin, that part right there, we sometimes want to think that we can make it because we didn't have a village. But you know, like I know, and I'm gonna even say this. I gave Ian his kudos this morning. I gave him to him last night, but his kudos last night and this morning. But I'm gonna give Kevin the same thing. Kevin has opened some doors for me specifically that I didn't even know I could breach, right? And that's the village. That's the village. 9 times out of 10, going back to Miss Billy, we see something. And when we see something, we say something. Because if we don't, as Ian so eloquently puts it, silence is violence. So if you are literally just being quiet, you are harming the village more than you're helping the village, right? All right, Ian, I'm gonna break away. Kevin, that kind of got me a little crunk.
I love it. No. I just want to lift up this into the space that it's really important to consider the collective intelligence. The collective intelligence. I want y'all to like really sit with that and like breathe that in. Collective intelligence. And what I mean by collective intelligence is this idea that one person does not have all the answers. And one person cannot do this thing alone.
Come
It
on.
takes
Come on.
collective intelligence.
Yeah.
Because even when I thought I was doing it by myself, even when I thought I did not have the support that I desired, there were people in the background paying attention. They may not have been saying anything at the moment, but they were paying attention. And some people were challenging me. Most of the people around me were challenging me, not out of the deficit and not out of you aren't good enough, but you can be better. And it was everybody around me, their collective intelligence, that continues to sharpen and cultivate and build. And now I get to be a part of somebody else's circle and sharpen and cultivate and build. And then now they're a part of somebody else's circle and they're sharpening and cultivating and build. And it's the collective intelligence, because guess what? Everybody can fucking win. Everybody can win. No one has to lose. No one has to lose. But it's the collective intelligence, the village. The village has to be about being built, being sharpened, and being cultivated, and then building, sharpening, and cultivating.
Come on. You better come through, Malcolm, and a little bit of Martin Luther. You better come through. You better come through. Look, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know we love our 5 Fridays. We love what's going on. We do want to take a moment. I know that we mentioned her earlier in the program in the live, but I just want to give another shout out to RIP to Monica Roberts, who passed away. She was a phenomenal person in the community. She was part of that village. She raised up so many people in the village. And I just want to pay homage to her, just with a moment of silence, just to recognize the force, the blessing, the gift she was to the world. And sometimes we don't know, right? We don't know what somebody has been through, somebody has done until they pass. And I think that's crazy to think that we don't know of these people. And so I'm not saying that nobody knows of her. I'm saying that sometimes we don't know the depth of their journey and what they've contributed to our community. So I just want to say, for those of you watching, those of you listening, those of you going to watch later and listen later, just Google Monica Roberts. Google her, go to the Transgrio, look her up and be that village and know what she's done and know what her legacy is and know that her death, her passing is not in vain. Like she made things happen. I like to say that she was down in the trenches and she was up on Capitol Hill, right? So just go and check that out. So what I would like to do in this moment, Ian, do you have anything to say about Monica before I do this? So I would love for you all just to take a moment of silence with us for Monica. As we used to say in the hood, pour a little out. I know that's a little cliche, but you know what I mean? Take a little moment and just give Monica, that moment of silence. And let's go ahead and do that now. Thank you so much, Monica. We appreciate you. We lift you up. RIP. We want to send out prayers and condolences to her family. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, just know that we are a part of the village. And the only way that we can uplift the village and carry the village on is if we do it, right? Is if we do it. And then as Tana said down here in the comments, she said, basically, we can't make it by ourselves. We cannot. We're a village, we're a circle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our Fire Friday today. I know that we are we've been out of pocket for just a little bit, but we are back. So y'all make sure y'all tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. We're going to come at you and let you know what the deal is. The only way we know how on a Fire Friday, in your face. in your face. No, just kidding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, peace and blessings to you. And if you don't know anything else, I gotta say this. I gotta say this, brother. If you don't know anything else on this Friday, on this Fire Friday, know that you deserve to be blessed. You deserve to be blessed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, peace and blessings to you. Until next time. Hashtag T2P, come and take a sip of the thought with me.